Oh, this here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the AEW Dynamite Ring Report. As you see from these matches coming up, we're getting to the finals of the Continental Classic for the blue and gold. We see a triple threat match for the gold winner, Spurs Strickland, John Moxley, and Jay White. Which one do you think is the winner to meet the blue winner? Speaking of the blue winner league, Brian Danielson takes on Eddie Kingston. Which one of these two men will meet the winner of the gold league? We're going to talk about it in the finals of the Continental Classic. Comes to a head for World's End. Also, too, women's action. We talk about Chris Statlander taking on Sky Blue. Maybe if we continue with TBS Championship, you never know. We'll find out. Plus, two former tag team partners, now more than enemies, Edge and Christian Cage. They kind of sell their differences in a heart-to-heart, face-to-face. Plus, Renee Young interviews Mariah May. What Mariah May has to say. We'll talk about it coming up. In the main event, MJF, the AEW champion, and the one half of the Ring of Honor Tag Team champion, teams of Samoa Joe, to take on the mystery team that the Devil has sent. We'll talk about it coming up on December 4th when the Pro Wrestling Show presents the AEW Dynamite Ring Report. It starts right now. Hello, welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host as always, Kendrick Dix here. Glad you can join me on the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in that conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is here. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show. All right. We got a lot to get to. The Continental World's End is coming soon. And what World's End is going to be, we'll get to it in a minute. But let's get things started with this. John Moxley started everything off for Dynamite. John Moxley came out there looking to compete in that triple threat match. Moxley wants to be in the finals of that triple threat match. I'm kind of thinking AEW got their favorites. You count them to me. Well, Moxley went against Swerve Strickland and Jay White in a battle that many people would have thought that never would have existed. Told you that Moxley wants this win more than ever. Moxley defeated both men who I thought there was perennial favorites to win it. Moxley wins with the top leaderboard. I can't believe that Swerve Strickland and Jay White, who was the favorites to win it, now no longer going to be the favorites to win it. Now we see John Moxley now the favorite to win the could be the winner of the Continental Classic. John Moxley, I guess he's AEW live, breathe through, if you know what I mean. He's a AEW representative one way. Well, Swerve didn't have a good night thus far. One thing about Swerve Strickland wasn't gonna cry for sour grapes. Swerve Strickland found out that he had Tony Schiavone had a message for Swerve. Told Swerve that someone's been looking for you quite some time. Swerve Strickland didn't know what Tony Schiavone was talking about. Even King, I forgot his name, Prince Naja, didn't know what was going on. Now we know that Swerve thought he was targeted last week by MJF. We know that Swerve and MJF had that little issues and stuff from last week, the face-to-face encounter. Now we know that Swerve got a little piece of business that he got to handle. Swerve figured that he wasn't going to get revenge and payback. Swerve will go one-on-one against Keith Lee. Swerve goes one-on-one against Keith Lee at the World's End pay-per-view. And we'll have that for the Predicted Outcome special coming up this Saturday after. So look for that coming your way. Predicted Outcome special. Speaking of that, Toni Storm, timeless Toni Storm. She's ready for a close-up. Toni Storm been ready for a close-up for quite some time. Toni Storm looking to take away the challenge of Riho. Riho challenging Toni Storm for the women's championship this Sunday on pay-per-view at World's End. We'll see that match as well. The women's title will be on the line between Toni Storm and Riho. We'll see that match coming up. So, hey, looking forward to seeing that as well. Another match that we found out, speaking of Toni Storm, a protege, Mariah May announced to Renee Young that she will indeed be wrestling on the first Dynamite of the new year. So Mariah May will be wrestling. We'll try to see what Mariah May is made of. We'll see what she's all about. Coming up, Mariah May will get that opportunity of a lifetime to wrestle. We'll find out. You know that Riho wants to go, and Riho looking for the goal coming her way soon. So Riho wants the AEW Women's Gold that she once had here. Well, speaking of that, we also found out too that Miro will take on Andrade. You know, Miro's wife has been involved in it, but since we told you last week that Miro's wife had an infection, she won't be caught part in it because she's trying to heal that arm. We told you that arm, that hand. Ooh, that hand was that hand. Ooh, I'm telling you, that hand looked looked like it was kind of infected. But Riho, not Riho, but Lana, staying at home. Probably Charlotte Flair ain't involved in this stuff. Charlotte Flair ain't getting herself involved. But Charlotte Flair was indeed with Andrade this past week, supporting him in one of his matches. We know that she's going to get surgery. She'll be out indefinitely for 9 months as well. So we kind of know that as well. Speaking of that, tonight, what was also Don Callis. Don Callis is the most weirdest man in wrestling. I'll say that right now. He's the most weirdest man in wrestling. I tell you that Don Callis had a photo of him and Powerhouse Hobbs as they was gangsters or thugs or whatever you want to call them and stuff. Don Callis took that weird photo with him and Powerhouse Hobbs tonight. Also, too, Don Callis also took a picture with him and Takesha. What in the hell? Really, man? It's like he secreted. You know what? If many of you know what I'm talking about, Don Callis is a secretive. You know what? Is he out in the closet or something? And then he's fighting kangaroos with that Jack dude, the Ring on TV champion. He's doing a lot. And also too, he had a picture of him, Sammy, and all of them. It was just it's weird. Don Callis is a weird individual. I've been around some weird individuals for quite some time. Don Callis is top of the icing when it comes to weird. Weird indeed. Don Callis, look at this one more time. Him with Powerhouse Hobbs like they thugs or something, like they gangsters. Then he's with Takesha, like they doing Kill Bill or something. Then he's punching with Jack, I forgot his name. Then he's with what's his name? Like they're all taking a family photo. Well, we found out that right here, Sammy Guevara wasn't around. Don Callis wanted to know what Sammy Guevara was being. He's been doing maternity leave with his wife. Sammy's back. He hugged Chris Jericho and helped Chris Jericho. So I don't know what's going on with this. Jericho a little bit puzzled and a little confused. He's been puzzled and confused quite some time with Steve P. New and a lot going on with him. Now we know that Jericho and Sammy Guevara are back on the same team for how long? Who knows? But I know Sammy wanted to get back in Jericho's good graces. I don't think Jericho's kind of not buying it right now. Sammy Guevara kind of showcasing what he wants to do. And I think you got the tag team champions, Big Bill and Ricky Starks involved. And then we just found out recently, right now, that it's going to be, instead of Kenny Omega not going to be in the match, it's going to be a tag team, 8-man tag team felt with the Stinger involved as well. So Sting's involved in this match as well. a lot of moving parts till you know what I mean come around. Stinger. Uh, this is the match right here we're gonna see right here. Sting teams up with Darby Allin, teams up with Chris Jericho, teams up with Sammy Guevara, take on the team of the World Tag Team Champions Big Bill and Ricky Starks, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Kyle Fletcher. All of them in together. So we'll see some sort of what's gonna go down this week. As it leads to what's going to go down and what's going to happen. But it's going to be a huge match. But like I said, I don't see the Stinger losing his match. The Stinger's not going to lose that match one way. He's going to go up with a blaze of glory on to the road to revolution. And we can see that huge 8-man tag team match. Ricky Stark and Powerhouse Hobbs. They got a lot of history together. They used to be part of Team Taz. Now they're gonna team up with different groups. So Starks, I'm surprised Taz ain't made no mention of it. So Starks and them gonna team up. So we'll see how this is gonna go. So Sammy Guevara back in the saddle. Sammy Guevara back. I knew Sammy was gonna come back eventually one way or one half. So we'll see Sammy Guevara back as well. Also, too, was another match we saw. The Continental Classic continues on as Bryan Danielson takes on Eddie Kingston. Danielson takes on Eddie Kingston in the Blue League Finals. Who's going to emerge victorious in this match? Now, we told you that Eddie Kingston put up both his Ring of Honor World Championship and New Japan Openweight Championship. This is something that Eddie Kingston wanted. And Eddie Kingston gets that opportunity to showcase his skills as the underdog against Bryan Danielson. Eddie Kingston did not show no favor whatsoever. Oh, that's Jericho and all them. But Eddie Kingston showing some grit, heart, and determination against Bryan. Kingston did so tonight. Eddie Kingston defeated Daniel Bryanson, what many people are considering an upset, and it was an upset to me, but he got the job done. Eddie Kingston evolves and moves on to the next thing in his life, the next chapter. Kingston now moves on. Kingston did the impossible, did the unthinkable. Eddie Kingston won his match tonight. Eddie Kingston now could consider himself a I guess a winner now. He's been winning, but Eddie Kingston now can now say that he's been winning on the top of a chain, and Eddie Kingston continues that momentum. Eddie Kingston blazed his trail, and he got met with you know who wanted to confront him, and he did confront him in the worst way possible. These two guys have been blood brothers, considered blood brothers. Now they're gonna fight, and we're gonna see which one of these two men will be the Continental Classic winner and hold the Continental Classic Championship, the Ring of Honor Championship, and the New Japan Championship. A historic effort for both men. Both men have been in the same round before, and now it comes to a head one-on-one in the Continental Classic. So we'll see that match coming up for the Continental Classic, as we see right here. This is the graphic behind this Daniel Bryan. I thought it was gonna be Bryan versus Moxley, members of the Continental Classic. People get in the ring. We guess we'll see that match coming forward and stuff. But as you can tell, this match is built by nutrition. We'll see that match coming up as well. So we'll see that coming down as well eventually. So we'll see that between these two men. So much pride going on. So like we said, they Moxley won his match tonight over Strickland and Jay White. He moves on, and Eddie Kingston won his match. So now we know Eddie Kingston is the Blue League final winner, and John Moxley is the Gold League final winner. So we're gonna find out which one of these two men will win the whole enchilada and become the Continental Classic winner. So we'll get to see that. So we'll see that coming up this week. Yeah. And tune in for the Pro Wrestling Show presents to predict the outcome for World's End coming up for predictions and stuff. Also, too, we saw Chris Stanline win against Sky Blue. Chris Stanline win against Sky Blue tonight. We really know who won that one. Chris Stanline, I think what's his name, was watching to scope her out to see what she was all about. So we saw that. So hey. Also, too, we told you we want to know who done it. MJF want to know who done it. Everyone is pointing clues that MJF was the devil. Even the Roger Strong and what's his name? Taven think he's the devil. I think Ben and Taven might be part of this group with them. So don't be surprised and stuff. What's going on with that? They keep adding matches. You see right here, Sky Blue line herself with Julia Hart, the TBS champion. I don't know what they're doing. It just ain't working, but hey, it is what it is. Christian Cage got knocked on his face by what's his name? Edge. We know Christian and Edge will meet on this Saturday. It's personal. You see right here, everyone, all the people trying to estrang Christian from Edge. Is that the Von Erich family? I guess. But now we know Edge and Christian will meet, and they'll sell their differences in the ring coming up. Speaking of that, looks like what's her name? Haley has found new friends. Paige Saraya explained to Renee that she'll explain it next week. It's like Haley wants to be a killer Barbie or something like that. How she's acting, and you got Ruby Soho in the middle of it, trying to figure out what's going on. And Saraya says she will explain everything next week. Well, it turned our attention to the main event. The main event was MJF, the AEW champion and one half of the Ring On World Tag Team champion, and his partner Samoa Joe take on the Devil's Mask Men. So mind you, this is all a setup. I knew it was a setup from the start. MJF was coming down to the ring, and all of a sudden Samoa Joe said he felt injured and out. I knew that was a stunt, a setup from the get-go. Samoa Joe did so by attacking MJF and leading towards the Masked Men, who I think is Taven and Bennett, winning the tag team championships of Ring of Honor. And Samoa Joe getting this message from this devil saying, "My pleasure is doing business with you." Now, we don't know who this devil could be. Could it be Adam Cole or what? I think it's probably Adam Cole that he kind of go MJF to believe he was his friend. He believed him and stuff. So we could see that, but ain't no telling. But we'll have to wait and see in the pay-per-view and stuff. So hey, we'll see that. I want to root for Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston could be winning, leaving out World's End as the champion, gold champion. He put it all on the line. So I'm thinking Eddie Kingston's gonna win the championship. That's what Tony Khan do. He throws a curveball when you don't least expect it. So could be that going up. But everyone's wondering, anticipating, who could this person be? This masked man that Samoa Joe has done business with to doing all this. So we just have to wait and see how this is going to go. All right, that ends the AEW Dynamite Ring Report. We're going to move forward to Wrestling Hot Topics. We'll move forward to this. Did not know this. The longest reigning Intercontinental Champion, Gunther, along with his wife Jenny, have gave birth to a son. Gunther gave birth to a son with Jenny. I can't believe it. That was the biggest kept secret. The Intercontinental Champion did not know his wife was pregnant. Man, It tells you everything you need to know about the Intercontinental Champion Gunther. Yes, 2023 has been a good year to him. He broke the record and became the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion, and now he's officially a father. Congratulations to the happy couple on welcoming their new addition to the world. All right, we're gonna end that right now here on the Pro Wrestling Show. With that, we'll have the SmackDown Ring Report coming up, and then we'll have World's End, the predicted outcome prediction special, as well as the review of World's End. What happened, what went down. We'll have full coverage of it this weekend. So, for me being Kendrick Dix saying so long, thank you for watching the Pro Wrestling Show. Y'all have a, we'll see you Friday.